station on radio stations. I just pray the Lord give me patience, cause I'm running through these rappers like my name Walter Payton. Shitting on these rappers, 9 to 5 is my occupation. Raw, you come in with your best juice, you best bring more. Already told you I got the juice like Orenthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth, all your men false. So boss, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operated when bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah, that's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate, why they overhate, cause their time is short and a moment late. Let it culminate to they heart erasing and palpitate. Cowards perpetrate like their little group is respectable. Talking intellectual, all of you homosexuals, faggots.
There's no one like me, I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat your children.
I don't want to congregate, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want the fellowship, I ain't trying to build with you. Ain't the UPK, ain't the truth, keep it real with you. Defenders of the faith, I got no problem bumping heads with you. All that bullshit, you could take it over there with you. Rather be a houseboy, rather run with them field niggas. Show them to put in work, move mountain, crush hills, nigga. Take a dead soul, breathe life and make it live, nigga. No affiliation, so it's no one to compare with us. Took the Lord's laws and just added it with fear, nigga. Aim for the body, cause you know that killer head quicker. With these bars, I'm on my grizzly, so bear witness. You spit cold, I spit flu. Don't compare sickness. You floss diamond, I floss fringes. Don't compare dentists. You PK, we men the wall shit. We ain't Christian. Harm one of us, get pistol whipped like the gun got a belt with it. I'm bred different. The competition just a mill. I'm fed different. I stood front line on them fields. I bled different. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. I'm led different. Shit, I'm led different. Come through like a juggernaut, so don't get in the way. And we take everything serious. We don't play. I wonder now what they gon' say. Shit, we make profits out of shooters like the NBA. You get slayed for switching sides, nigga. We ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception. Wow. These niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch cage. You was never with us, nigga. Just know we won't miss you, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga. Left hand hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation. When you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation. When you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation, so no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that we are the descendants of the greatest people to walk the face of this earth, which the Bible identifies us as the so-called 12 tribes of Israel, the true Jews of the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? We are considered the true Jews of the Bible. Everything in that Bible that describes what happened to the children of Israel happened to them in the past, happened to them yesterday, and is happening to us still today. You understand what I'm saying? All of these other nations, they know exactly who we are. You understand? This is the reason why they handle us like they do. And when I say handle, I mean handle as in they treat us the way they treat us. You understand? Knowing that as long as they keep us at the bottom, as long as they keep us looking up to them, they always going to be looking upon Zion, and they always going to eat off the children of Israel. Every nation, there is no nation on the face of this planet that did not benefit off the children of Israel, whether it be in biblical times or whether it be today. You understand? In biblical times, all of those nations fed off of us, and just like in biblical times, today, all of the nations feed off of us. Well, I guess what just passed, we just had, what did they call it? Juneteenth. You understand? Israel is going crazy. Israel is going nuts. You understand what I'm saying? Because Israel truly believes, or our people truly believe, that now we are getting a come up. We are becoming equal with the other nations. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody knows, everybody whose eyes are open, everybody who is in this truth knows that we are not equal with the other nations. If we equal with the other nations, let me ask a question. Where are all the Chinese ghettos? Where are the Arab ghettos? You understand what I'm saying? Where are all the Japanese ghettos? Where are all the African ghettos? You understand? There are none. You understand? We are the ones at the bottom of the totem pole. Why are we at the bottom of the totem pole? Because we don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. The Most High told us in the beginning, don't make marriages with them. You understand? That didn't just mean not to marry your sons to their daughters or your daughters to their sons. It also meant don't make agreements. You understand? Don't make pacts with these people. You understand? Matter of fact, let's grab Psalms 55 and 21. Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. You understand? And when we make pacts and we make agreements and we shake hands with these people always turn around and stab us in the back. These people always turn around and kick us in the butt. These people always turn around and destroy us. You understand? We always lay our hearts out to these nations, and these nations rip our hearts out. You understand? This is what happens to us when you trust the beast, when you trust an animal. Let me grab that real quick. Come, sir. As a matter of fact, you can start at 20. Let's do 20. Come, sir.
The book of Psalms 55 and verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant.
It says he had put forth his hands as such as be at peace with him. What is that describing? That's kind of describing what we do today. All of the covenants that we want to go up and sign and watch our oppressors sign, and we want to shake hands and make agreements. Well, it's the same thing that the native Indians did with the oppressor back in the day. You understand? If I'm not mistaken, they wrote up 177 peace treaties with the Native Americans. You say they put forth as such that be at peace with them. The natives were at peace with them. You understand? Everybody knows the tribe of Gad is a peaceful people. You understand? Until you get them wrong. You understand? But they put forth their hand as such as be at peace with them. And it says, he had broken his covenant. This is what our oppressor does. There's nothing new with our oppressor breaking covenants. This is just what they do. You understand? You ever heard of eminent domain? You understand what I'm saying? They can sell you a piece of property, and if they feel like they need that property because they want to build a highway or a road, or they want to construct a new mall or something like that, they call upon eminent domain, and they can take your property from you. You understand what I'm saying? A sister, when I was back in the world and I was in church, a sister had just paid her house off for $116,000 that she had bought back in the early 70s. The late 70s, right there on Catherine Street, paid $116,000 for it. And they called eminent domain, and they took her house and only paid her $25,000. You understand what I'm saying? And guess what? Now she's renting. She doesn't have a house. You understand? This is what our oppressor does to us. You understand? It says he had put forth his hand as such as be at peace. We buy these things and we sign these agreements and these covenants and we make marriages with them thinking that our oppressors won't play fair with us. Our oppressor is never have and never will be a fair person. Go ahead, Kwan.
Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
And this is what they do to us. They speak sweet words. They lull us to sleep with everything that they say. You understand? They lulled us to sleep with that June 19th. Israel is flabbergasted by June 19th. We really think, oh, well, now we're on our way to reparations. But what did Joe Biden say when he came into the White House? He's not signing anything, any kind of reparation law for black people. Kamala Harris said the same thing. So you got the president and the vice president talking, they ain't giving you no kind of reparations. But see, when they speak those words, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. You understand? They lulled you to sleep. They got all of the black folks, and then they told black people, we ain't doing nothing for you. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Go ahead.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. But what we will do is we'll build what's that, penitentiaries for you. We will build private prisons. You understand what I'm saying? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, and we get lulled to sleep no matter how many times these things happen to us. No matter what they do to us, they can always figure out a trinket to give us to lull us back to sleep. Now it looks like we got another unholy holiday on the books again to lull people to sleep. Now you got, in damn near every month there is a holiday. So as soon as black people get finished with one holiday and they get themselves together, it's all of a sudden it's time for another holiday. And these are the things that keep us asleep. You understand? Our oppressor knows exactly what to do. They know exactly what to say to lull us to sleep, to keep continually taking advantage of our people. You understand? We are a destroyed people. Go ahead.
His words were smoother than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
His words were smoother than oil, but yet were they drawn swords. Listen, the only thing he's thinking about is destruction and destroying us. He will say anything to get us comfortable where we are. And with this Juneteenth thing, our brothers and sisters were definitely comfortable. We went out to look at our brothers and sisters on Juneteenth. You see how comfortable they were, right? You see how this is a Juneteenth thing, right? It's supposed to be for so-called black people, right? Black people, you understand what I'm saying? And you seen white people all mixed in and doing their thing too. You understand? When black people see white people out there, we get lulled to sleep. You understand? All of these holidays are holidays to keep us asleep. You understand? Juneteenth. The so-called Jew lost a couple of people in the Holocaust, and they getting reparations. They ain't got a holiday. You understand what I'm saying? Their Holocaust happened how many years ago? Was it 70? 73 years ago? They getting reparations. As a matter of fact, let's look at this right here. Let me read this right here. Salakia, sir. Let me read this. It says Germany started making reparation payments to Holocaust survivors back in the 1950s. Remember this, right? World War II was over in 1945. 5 years later, they getting reparations. We've been destroyed for over 400 years, and we have not gotten a penny in reparations. They not even talking about it. You understand what I'm saying? It says Germany started making reparation payments to the Holocaust survivors back in the 1950s. Listen, and continues making payments today. The 1950s, and they continue to make payments to this day. Some 400,000 Jews who survived the Nazis were still alive in 2019, right? That year, Germany paid $564 million to the claim conference, which handles the payments. That's not to mention that the money that they receive individually, the survivors individually receive payments too. That's just to the claims conference. That's as a whole. Individual survivors receive payments also, not to mention the United States also pays them about $560 billion a year. If that ain't a hell of a welfare check. You understand what I'm saying? If that ain't a hell of a welfare check. You understand? And we dancing and praising God and partying, cooking out on the grill, you understand, over a holiday. Not a holiday that only we celebrate. This is a holiday for everybody. So it's nothing special about this holiday. Everybody gets off. You understand what I'm saying? This is not a special holiday like I remember when we were going to school, when the Jewish holidays came up, only the Jewish kids were out of school. You understand what I'm saying? Only the Jewish kids were out of school. What kind of holiday, a special holiday, what makes this holiday so special? You understand what I'm saying? What makes this holiday so special? Not a thing. Just like Christmas. This holiday, this Juneteenth, is no different than Thanksgiving or Memorial Day or the 4th of July or Labor Day. You understand? It's a holiday for you to cook out and relax with a day off from work. There's nothing special about it. But black people celebrate partying in the street like we just hit the lottery. You understand? This is how destroyed we are. Because you did not see the so-called Jewish man would not have been partying in the street for a holiday. You understand what I'm saying? They made their day a day of remembrance. The Holocaust is not a day where you get off. They made their day a day of remembrance, but they getting reparations. They getting a welfare check. You understand what I'm saying? We are a destroyed people, and we truly believe that we are now equal, or we're coming up to being equal with the other nations. There has never been equality with us and the other nations. You understand what I'm saying? There has never been equality with us and the other nations. As a matter of fact, let's get let's go back. I want to revert back. I want to go to 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 10. Let me know when you get that Trooper Natazal. Oh, no, I just wanted to make sure he got there. Chapter 2, verse 10. This is what we were talking about earlier right here. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoil?
You hear that right there? What nation have not had a part in her kingdom? What nation have not had us in captivity? What nation have not benefited off of having us in captivity? It happened in biblical times, and it's happening today. The so-called Chinese man, the Korean man, they feed off of us in our neighborhoods. You understand? The so-called Arab feeds off of us in the liquor stores. You understand? The so-called East Indian feeds off of us in the Dunkin' Donuts and the 7-Elevens and places like that, and the Royal Farms now. You understand what I'm saying? Every nation benefits off of having us in captivity. You understand what I'm saying? Why do we stay in captivity? Why do we stay in captivity? Because we don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. We don't listen to our Father. You understand what I'm saying? Listen. If your father keeps telling you not to do this, not to do this, not to do this, eventually what's going to happen? He will let you go ahead and do what you do, and he will let you go ahead and get beat up and get your ass kicked. You understand what I'm saying? To help you to understand what I'm telling you is to benefit you. The laws, statutes, and commandments were given to us to benefit us, not to hinder us. But when you listen to Israel today, they speak about the Bible and the laws like they were made to hinder us. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why we are a destroyed people. We are destroyed people for a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding. Where do you get knowledge and understanding from? You get knowledge and understanding from the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? We are a destroyed people because we don't want to listen to our Father. So what's happening now is our Father is just letting us get a beat. You understand? He letting us get punishment so that we can, all of us, so we can wake up and come back. Think about this, right? 4 years ago, I was not here. You understand what I'm saying? But after being beaten and battered down and bruised so much, when you hear that word, you wake up. You were there. Police officer was there. You understand? Cap was there. All of us were there. You understand? When I came into the truth, it was only, I think I made the 7th brother. You understand? Look at how many brothers we got today. And I mean, some left, but look how many we got, even though the ones that left. You understand what I'm saying? Because brothers are starting to wake up. Brothers are starting, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Isaiah. Hold on, wait. Let me get there.
Isaiah 42 and 22.
22. Let me make sure. Let me get that. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
It says, but this is a people. That's what we're talking about right now, robbed and spoiled. This is what the other nations do to us. They rob and take our spoils. You understand? They take our children. You understand? They take the minds of our women. These are spoils. You understand? They take our dignity. These are spoils. It is nothing worse than a man with no dignity. It's nothing worse than a nation of people with no dignity. They rob and take our spoils. You understand? They take everything that makes Israel, Israel. The only thing that they can't take from us is the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
All of them are snared in holes. These are traps. You understand what I'm saying? It says they are all of them snared in holes. You understand? We fall for everything that the other nations do to us. You understand? We listen to everything that the other nations, we want to follow and go fall into the customs and the cultures of the other nations. Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
And we are hidden in prison houses. We are the ones being locked up, being destroyed. You understand? Being ridiculed. You understand what I'm saying? We are the ones being destroyed.
They are for a prey.
They are for a prey. This is exactly what we are. The other nations are the beasts of the field. So if the other nations are the beasts of the field, what are we? We are the prey. We are what they feed off of. You understand? And because of our leaders, because our leaders have sold us unto the other nations, we become a prey to the other nations. Go ahead.
And none delivereth.
And none delivereth. Listen, nobody can save us from this. Nobody can deliver us from what we're going through except for the Most High. But we got to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the only way we get delivered from this. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why us as the Isupk, this is the reason why we go out there on those corners and we speak to our people. You understand? To get them off of the drugs. To get them, to stop them from murdering each other. You understand? To stop the fornication and the idol worship and things like that. To stop them from falling into the customs and cultures of these nations. To come out of them. This is what the scriptures say, come out of her, my people. Come out of these customs and cultures. Go ahead.
For a spoil, and none saith restore.
For a spoil, and none saith restore. We can't be restored. You understand? We are the spoil. You understand? We are the treasure that the other nations are coming for. You understand? We are that spoil. We are the ones that are robbed and spoiled. You understand? We are the treasure that they use to build their kingdoms. And as their kingdoms are being built, ours is being torn down. The only way we come back off of that is to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Let's go.
24.
Skip to 24? Go
Who
ahead.
gave Jacob for spoil,
Go ahead.
and Israel to the robbers. Did not the Lord?
Go ahead.
He against whom we have sinned.
Listen, the Most High gave us as a spoil. You understand? Because we did not listen to our Father. You understand? Remember we was talking earlier, when you don't listen to your Father after so many times, he allows you to take that beating. You understand? He allows you to be robbed, to be spoiled, to be used, to be abused. You understand? These are the things that happen when you don't follow your Father's direction. You understand? How these laws, statutes, and commandments were not here to hinder us, but to help us. You understand? The Most High gave us so much sympathy and empathy that we use it for the other nations and we don't use it for our own people. So much so, this is the reason why we're being robbed and spoiled. Go ahead.
He against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Right there, just what we was talking about. Because we would not walk in his ways and be obedient to the law. That's why the things that's happening to us are happening to us. You understand? When you don't follow your Father's direction, think about it, right? My mother kept telling me, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And after a while, she's like, okay, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. Since you don't want to listen, she put the strap to me. You understand? I'm gonna give you something to think about. All of a sudden, I turned and said, oh, look, I can't take that no more. I'm gonna listen. You understand? Well, this is the reason why the Most High is allowing these things to happen to us, to bring us back to Him, to make us turn back to Him and leave those evil ways. You understand? To leave the customs and cultures, to leave that Christmas and these holidays, these Juneteenths and things like that. Every time you turn around, it seems like we get another holiday. You know what I mean?
Verse 25.
Go ahead.
Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger.
Therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger. And that's what we catching. We catching real hell right now. This is the fury of the Most High's anger. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the strength of battle.
And the strength of battle. You know what Salak is, sir? Yeah, I understand that. The strength of battle. Oh, okay, right. The strength of the struggle. It's the struggle. It's the struggle. You understand what I'm saying? And the struggle to maintain, and through everything we still can't maintain. Why can't we maintain? Because we refuse to come back. You understand? Listen, I remember one day my mother was getting into me, right? Getting into me. And I was trying to fight against that, and boom, it's the struggle. And eventually I got broke. And I understood that I can't do. You understand? And this is what's happening to us today. But we need our brothers and sisters to turn back to the Most High so that we don't have to feel that strength of that battle. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And it has set him on fire round about.
And it has set him on fire round about. No matter where we go, we are surrounded by struggles and strife. You understand? Whether it be at work, whether it be at home, whether it be out in the streets. You understand? We the only nation of people who, from the time we wake up in the morning to the time we lay our heads down, everything is I hope nothing happens today. I hope this is not the day. You understand what I'm saying? We are the nation of people who feel that because all of the other nations are in their heaven right now. And we are in our hell. You understand what I'm saying?
Yet he knew not, and it burned him. Yet he laid it not to heart.
Read that again.
Yet he knew not, and it burned him. Yet he laid it not to heart.
He said, yet he knew not, and it burned him. Yet he laid it not to heart.
All this happened.
Right.
All that this devil has done to the nation of Israel in all of this time. And we'll still go out there and twerk and line dance on you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? No matter what happens to us. Exactly. Because we have lack of, laid not the heart, a lack of understanding. You understand? When you get beat so much and you still don't learn. We still out there twerking and everything. And we still out there making marriages with the other nations, inviting the other nations in to celebrate along with us. You understand what I'm saying? Think about this is supposed to be a Juneteenth, and I looked at people been celebrating Juneteenth for some years now, and I looked at they had a little, what they call it, like a queen of a princess of the Juneteenth, right? And then they had a bunch of little black girls riding in a car with some little white girl. You understand what I'm saying? And I thought this was supposed to be about black people, but we always like to intermingle and bring them into our thing. You understand what I'm saying? I was looking up the Juneteenth on the internet yesterday, and I knew about Juneteenth, but I didn't know in different cities and states that they were actually celebrating it like it was a holiday, having parades. I didn't know all of that. And in these parades, you got little white girls in there with little black girls being the princess of Juneteenth. You understand what I'm saying? How is that when it's supposed to be about black people? But these are the things that destroy us because we want to be equal with the other nations when we could never be equal with the other nations. The thing is the Most High made us over the other nations. He made us to be better than the other nations. But when you leave your culture and you take on another nation's culture, you become the footstool to that other nation. You understand? You become the doormat to that other nation. What do we say? We always say that when you integrate into a thing, you become the thing that you integrate into. So when you become something, you become that thing, not the thing that you were made to be. You understand what I'm saying? Remember on Star Trek, right? I don't want to get too far, but remember Star Trek when the Borg came in, and the Borg integrated everybody that they touched into them, and everybody became the Borg. The Borg didn't become them, they became the Borg, and they became evil. You understand what I'm saying? Well, it's the same thing when you integrate into the culture of another people. You become the thing that you integrate into. And this is the reason why Martin Luther King destroyed our people with integration. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why we are destroyed people. Now, yeah. Say that again. Yeah, we laid it not to heart. The scriptures say, right, exactly. MLK, right. Right. Still celebrating in the same way. You We haven't laid anything to heart. Still, and the thing about it, right? And for the life of me, and this is coming up, and you got the 4th of July coming up, and people actually celebrate the 4th of July like we were not in slavery. They laid it not to heart. It's the lack, just like you say, the scriptures tell us, a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding. You understand what I'm saying? As in 1776, where was our? You have to sometimes, even when you hear people with dates don't even. This is history class, so we hitting dates. 1776, our people were in chains. Our people were being beat. Our people were being thrown into the fields. Our children were being murdered. And you want to celebrate the 4th of July. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to this right here. In 1865, 98% of all whites in America is opposed to freeing blacks from slavery and giving them any kind of reparations. That's in 1865. In the Emancipation, remember, they were trying to keep the Union together, but the wealth and the greed of the South started making the South richer than the North. The North wanted to control that. Now, this is the thing, right? When Abraham Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves in the South. Listen, it only freed the slaves in the South. Understand this. Listen to this. That had succeeded from the Union. You understand what I'm saying? Or who was trying to succeed from the Union. You understand what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln said it himself. He said if he could keep the Union together without freeing any slaves, he would. You understand what I'm saying? If he could free half of the slaves and keep the Union together, he would. Slavery meant nothing to him. You understand? Black people meant nothing to him. His whole purpose was to keep the Union together, to keep the country together. You understand what I'm saying? Let me ask a question. What were they calling slaves in the North? What were they calling slaves in the North? They weren't calling them slaves. What were they calling them? Maids, butlers, houseboys. Remember, most of the fields that the slaves were working in the South, where most of the fields were in the South. They had fields in the North, but the North treated their slaves differently, slightly differently. They still treated them like garbage. You understand what I'm saying? But the whole purpose was in 1865, 98% of whites didn't want to free them because they were benefiting off of them. You understand what I'm saying? The only reason why, and then on top of that, think about it, right? On top of that, they attached the 13th Amendment to the Emancipation Proclamation. So why? So that they could re-enslave black people so-called legally. If you didn't have a dollar in your pocket, if they came up to you, you didn't have a dollar in your pocket, they could lock you up. If you didn't have any ID, they could put you back in slavery. You understand what I'm saying? If you didn't, it was so many things that they had attached to it that they could place you right back in slavery. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why you got a uptick in private prisons popping up in the South. You understand? Because they understand that those laws still apply today. You understand what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, they put us in a position to where we couldn't make a good living. So we had to do what? We had to do whatever we had to do to survive. And in doing whatever we had to do to survive, bam, they could place you right back into slavery. Juneteenth, and we celebrating Juneteenth. You understand what I'm saying? What does that last part say? For it's full and none. What was that other line? Yet he laid it not to heart. You understand what I'm saying? We have so much of a lack of understanding about what's going on around us. Did you see how the ladies was at the table when Joe Biden was signing that Juneteenth shit, and he passing out with the pens, right? And they grabbing the pens like these is, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this in a case, I'm gonna get him to sign. You know what I mean? It made us look. The Korean man set it up in New York. We have no dignity. You understand what I'm saying? They make us look as though we have no dignity. When you're not in the ISUPK and you begin to operate amongst the heathen nations and our oppressor, this is the way we look, as though we are people with no dignity. That's exactly how they look, smiling and getting like, this is it, like we got a real come up. You understand? Juneteenth is nothing but another Memorial Day or another 4th of July or another holiday that everybody gets to celebrate. It doesn't even only include us. Everybody get to celebrate that. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody get to celebrate it. You know? Think about it, right? Let's go to, I want to pull up another thing right here, right? The doctrine of exclusion. I always, every once in a while, pull this up. Think about it. Yeah, go back to Maccabees. Oh, well, was we finished that? What was that? Maccabees, first Maccabees 2, and I believe that's what it was. I thought we finished that. Let's go back to that.
Book of First Maccabees 2 and verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
This is what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils. Like we said, every nation has taken advantage of us. Every nation has benefited off of our spoils. And every nation has benefited off of our spoils, not just cause, but for a purpose. You understand what I'm saying? This was set up from the beginning. And we're going to stay right there. And I'm going to read this right here, the doctrine of exclusion. Every nation benefits from us. You understand what I'm saying? The doctrine of exclusion says, this is it right here. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion was collectively written by the Maryland Colony Council in 1638. And this is what it says. It states the following: neither the existing black population, their descendants, nor any other blacks shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. This is a law that's on the books today. It's called the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638. It says, neither the existing black population, their descendants, nor any other black shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. Nobody from our population is permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. What is the fruits of white society? What's the fruits of white society? I'm gonna give it to you, right? The fruits of white society is economic empowerment, social empowerment. You understand? Anything that you can build a nation off of. You understand? Think about it. School system, supermarkets. I ain't talking about a little mom and pop market. I'm talking about a supermarket, a big supermarket. Malls, electrical grids, light up cities, water grids that water the houses in the city. All of these economic powers. This is economic security. You understand? Anything that you can build your nation, that can help you build your nation. Land. You understand? Ownership of land. This is the reason why we never got that 40 acres and a mule. Because if they start passing out that much land to blacks and Hispanics and natives, we're going to end up owning the whole earth. You understand what I'm saying? When you give so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives any kind of power like that, or any kind of, think about it, in 1921, Black Wall Street, right? Just after slavery, 1865, that city got built in 1921. In 55 years, they had already had millionaires, had an operational city that was more beautiful than these white cities. White people knew it. White people began to go through a depression. Why did they go through a depression? Because they cannot run a city. They cannot operate without having us under their foot. They watched us go up and up and up and got jealous and came in and destroyed. They destroyed many cities around the country because blacks were prospering after slavery, so-called slavery. You understand what I'm saying? The doctrine of exclusion was placed just so that what happened in 1921 and in 1919 and in 1904 in Rosewood, in Seneca Village, in all of these other black cities all around the country, the doctrine of exclusion was placed in place just so that would not happen. So what did they have to do? They had to come in like the beasts that they were and destroy all of our cities. And because they destroyed all of our cities, then we had to look to them to rebuild. And then guess what they told us? Oh, the insurance that we had didn't cover riots. You understand what I'm saying? The very people who destroyed our cities then told us, oh, we can't help you rebuild, but we can rent you some. We can put you in ghettos. You understand? And that's where we are to this day. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have no economical power. You understand? We get all of this, what do they call it? When they talk and get you all hyped up. What they call that? Ray Lewis, what he do? Motivational speakers. You understand? We get a lot of motivational speakers. You understand? And when you go into think about this, right? What does a motivational speaker do? A motivational speaker speaks in a way to get you motivated to do something, right? But if you go somewhere to hear a motivational speaker, you already motivated because you're going out to figure out what you can do. So what does a motivational speaker have to do? A motivational speaker can't be a motivational speaker, but he has to empower you. He has to give you the tools. You understand? He has to give you the means to be able to hit the goal that you're trying to hit. And in the Isupk, under Commanding General Yohana, he's not a motivational speaker, but he's an empowering. He empowers us. He gives us the tools to go out there to do what we have to do to build our nation. And that's what we're doing today. We building a nation. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go. And that was another thing right there. In 1866, right after 1865 and 1866, that's when the first major labor union started. In 1866. Why was the labor union started? Why was the labor union started? Got an idea? Who? You know, sir? Why why the labor unions were started? In 1866. The first major labor union, think about this, right? All through slavery, who were the builders, the pipe layers, the plumbers, and everything like that? The so-called slaves, right? When they always tell us that, oh, well, slaves couldn't read, slaves weren't allowed to read, that's a lie. You understand? Because slaves actually had to read blueprints. Slaves actually had to go to the store, pick up supplies, and they had to come back with the right amount of change for their master. You understand what I'm saying? Slaves knew how to write and they knew how to count. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing we were not allowed to read was we weren't allowed to read that Bible. You understand? And then at some point in time, I can't remember when they gave us the little slave Bible. You understand what I'm saying? But labor unions were started because right after the emancipation, they realized that over 100,000 of the artisan workers. Now, you know what an artisan worker is, right? An artisan worker is a skilled worker. You had to be skilled to build houses. You had to be skilled to be plumbers. You had to be skilled to be bricklayers. Well, over 100,000 of those skilled artisan workers were slaves. The white oppressor could not get a job because all of the jobs were going to the skilled workers. So they started the labor unions to cut out the slaves and said these are white only unions. You had to be white to be in this union and you had to pay. You understand what I'm saying? So in 1866, right after the Emancipation Proclamation, they incorporated the slave unions too. So this was another way that they figured out to box us out. You understand what I'm saying? So now you had to take the low-paying menial jobs. You understand? And those high-paying skilled jobs were left to the oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to look at these things and we got to understand how these people feed off of us. It's just like today, and I don't know what school you went to, but back in the day when I was in school, we had shop class, you had trades, we had trade school. Well, if I'm not mistaken, right there in the middle of the 90s, they began to take those trades out of the high schools in the middle of all of the cities. So by the time the 2000s came, it was no more, it was a pinch of trade schools left in the city. Not enough to get our people off the street. You understand what I'm saying? And when you look at how our society looks today, you can understand what their whole purpose was. You understand? So that kids coming out of school would not be skilled and could fall right into a trade that they had learned in school. Where the white kids that were living in the county were still getting all of those. So they come out of high school and fall right into their line of work. You understand what I'm saying? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Everything that's happening to us, our oppressor makes it seem like it's a great thing when it's really not a great thing. He is really out to destroy us. You understand what I'm saying? All the way from going into elementary school and the kindergarten, learning a pledge of allegiance. You pledging your allegiance to a country and to a flag that of people that hate us. You understand? You're pledging allegiance to the point where a brother gets 30 years old, oh, I love America. You understand? We all been there. You understand? Well, most of us anyway. You understand what I'm saying? And what happened was a lot of that trade was keeping blacks, many of the blacks out of the industries through the slavery that were only skilled workers. You understand? That's what those labor unions were for. Hey, can I get let me make sure that's the right one first. Make sure that's the right one. Ecclesiasticus, I believe, I gotta make sure it's the right one. I don't want to give you the wrong thing. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 16. Listen, our oppressor lulls us to sleep with all of his words, just like Biden. Biden told black people, "You're not black if you don't vote for me." You understand what I'm saying? And what has Biden done for black people since he's been in? Nothing, not a goddamn thing. You understand what I'm saying? And he got another he got 3.5 years to prove it out. We know he's gonna prove it out because he already said he's not doing nothing for black people. Kamala Harris said the same thing. You got that? Come on, let's go.
The book of Ecclesiastes 12 and 16, an enemy speaking sweetly with his lips.
And listen, it says the enemy speaks sweetly with his lips, and we hear this every year. Every year when it's time for voting, when it's time to put a politician in office, when it's time to put a president in, when it's time to vote a mayor in, when it's time to put a city councilman in, when it's time to put anybody in, our enemy speaks sweetly with his lips. They give us all the lip service in the world, and they tell us what they going to do. Go ahead.
But in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
Listen, in his heart, he's trying to figure out how he can destroy us. You understand? He's trying to figure out how he can destroy us on the low. This is what our enemy does. You understand? Those people look so simple up on that stage while he's signing a holiday bill. Not a bill. It took him a month to sign an Asian bill to stop Asian hate, right? And listen, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm against Asian hate. I'm against Asians hating black people. You understand? That's the Asian hate I'm against. I'm against Asians hating black people. You understand? When a car girlie got killed, that police officer was an Asian. He got off. The sister that got shot in the head by the Asian lady in 95, you understand? The Asian that just shot the little 6-year-old boy last week in the arm, you understand? I'm against Asian hate. I'm against Asians hating black people. That's the Asian hate I'm against. You understand what I'm saying? What happened to that bill? Huh? Let me ask you that. What happened to that bill? Go ahead.
He will weep with his eyes.
Listen, and this is what happens all the time. Just like even with the George Floyd thing. White people gonna weep with their eyes, but they could care less. You understand? Your oppressor's gonna act like he feels sympathy, but he could care less. You understand? Listen. Right after the George Floyd verdict, a sister got killed by police. You understand? A brother got shot in the head by a bunch of band of police coming in in a pickup truck. You understand what I'm saying? They gonna weep with their eyes. They gonna make you feel like, oh, they sympathetic to your cause, but they are not. Go ahead.
He will weep with his eyes. But if you find opportunity, you will not be satisfied with blood.
You listen, if he find the opportunity, he's not going to just be satisfied with blood. He wants everything that you got. You understand what I'm saying? He wants your heart. He wants your mind. He wants your soul. Blood is not enough. You understand? Think about them brothers that's in the NBA, that's on the football fields and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? They got their hearts, their minds, and their souls. Them brothers can't even speak on how they feel. You can't even speak on social injustice or you lose everything you got. You know, blood is not enough. I want your heart, your mind, and your soul. Go ahead.
Verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first.
Listen, if adversity come upon thee, you're going to find him there first. He going to be there acting like he there for you to help you. Go ahead.
And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee.
Check this out, right? Right after this George Floyd thing, right? Derek Chauvin got convicted on all 3 charges. Well, I forgot the name of the charges, but the charges can hold up to 30 or 40 years or something like that, right? You watch this brother, you watch this man have his knee on the brother's neck for 9.5 minutes, right? You would think, as a brother, you would think, well, that's it right there. That's a wrap. He shouldn't even get an appeal, right? He's appealing. He's going back to court. You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if they let him off with probation. You understand what I'm saying? Listen. He pretend to help thee, yet shall he listen. They will help theirs get off to undermine us. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, I feared for my life. That's the thing that they use. You understand what I'm saying? They give them every opportunity and every option to get off. How can you let a man that you watch murder somebody appeal anything? That's unrighteous judgment. This is the reason why we need Christ to return, so it can be righteous judgment on this earth. Go ahead, brother.
John. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance.
Change his countenance. He gonna change the way he feel. He gonna act like he with you, but you gonna see that countenance change. You gonna see that attitude change. I'm not doing anything special for black people. Ain't that what Biden said after he got in office? Yeah, I'm gonna look out for you. Don't worry. I'm gonna look out for you. And as soon as he get in, he say, I'm not doing anything special for black people. He changed his countenance. Isupk said that long before he got in office. Isupk said, Commanding General Yohana said that he was going to do that. You understand? He changed his countenance. And this is what our oppressor does. You understand what I'm saying? Give me that scripture, oh shit, god dang. Hold up. Slack you, sir. Hold on, wait a minute. Because it's right on the tip of my tongue. Who can make that straight? And because it is, listen, our right, Ecclesiastes 7:13. But before you get into that, listen. Everything in Christianity is the thing that destroyed us. You understand what I'm saying? Let's make that clear. You understand? A lot of what we're going through is because of Christianity. I was in the Christian church. You understand? I know what I believe. You understand what I'm saying? When I first heard this, though, the first time I heard this truth, I knew that what I was hearing in my Christian church was not the truth. You understand? But for many of our brothers and sisters, what we hear, what they hear us speaking on the street is hard to believe. Because when you've been socially bred to believe one way, you understand? And you hear the truth, it's hard to believe that could really be the truth, because over all these years, all my pastors and preachers, they have been telling me this. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 13. Consider the work of God. For who can make that straight which he have made crooked?
It says, consider the work of God. Listen, when you say consider the work of God, who can hang the star? Who can hang the stars in the heavens? Who put the sun where they put it? Who made the sun come up and the moon come out? You understand what I'm saying? Who could do that? Consider the work of God. Who can make that straight which he have made crooked? Understand this, the way God made everything, there's nothing that you can do to change that. The Most High made our oppressor the way he made him for a particular reason. He made him that way to turn us back to the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? Who can make that straight which he have made crooked? He made this man crooked like that. He made our oppressor to be the way that he is. But us as a people, we always believe, well, we can change the heart of anybody. We can change the heart of our oppressor. Just give him some time. He gonna come around. Listen, reparations is right around the corner. All we gotta do is keep kissing up to him, and eventually we gonna get it. You understand? This is the way that we think. You understand what I'm saying? This is the way that we think. We think that these things are, eventually we gonna weigh them down. We gonna weigh them down with love. Martin Luther King, turn the other cheek. We gonna weigh them down with love. Don't fight back. Let them keep kicking us in the butt. You understand what I'm saying? Eventually he gonna get tired and he gonna see things our way. Well, after all of these years, he still ain't saw nothing our way, and they still murdering our people on the street. You understand? Who can make that straight with which the Most High have made crooked? You understand? But this is how destroyed we are. You understand? We destroyed as a nation of people because we think we can change the things that God have already created. You understand? Hey, let's pop up to that 7. Pop up to number 7. Pop up to number 7.
Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Listen, oppression maketh a wise man mad, right? Oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Our oppressor knows that all he has to do is give our leaders a trinket, and they will continually sell us into our oppressor's arms. They will continually hang us out to our oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? Oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Listen, when it looks like our leaders look like they're going to lose their seat, they will sell us out, which they have been doing over the years. You understand? Been selling us. You understand? They sold us out to the Koreans. They sell us out to the Chinese and the Arabs and the East Indians. They sell us out to every nation on the face of this planet. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why we are destroyed people and we in the position that we in. We got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? We got to understand that we descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of this earth. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the Jew. You understand? From the tribe of Judah. We are Judah. We are Israel. You understand? And this is what we go out there and we try to teach our people. You are the greatest people on the face of this earth. Although we in the condition that we in, although that we going through the things that we go through, we got to understand that we are the greatest people on the face of this earth. But all we have to do is step into that greatness. How do you step into that greatness? You come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how you step into that greatness. You understand what I'm saying? That leads us into what? Meritorious manumission. Meritorious manumission. Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. Meritorious manumission. You know what meritorious manumission is? Meritorious manumission was started in 1710. And what meritorious manumission did, meritorious manumission awarded any slave who created something or invented something that his master could benefit off of. He won his freedom. You understand what I'm saying? If you invented something that your master could benefit off of and could make some money off of, you won your freedom. You understand what I'm saying? That was a part of meritorious manumission. If you saved your master or if you saved his property from something devastating happening to it, you could win your freedom in that way. And the number one thing with meritorious manumission. If an uprising was happening and you informed your master and the uprising got thwarted, you would win your freedom. If you sold your people out, you could win your freedom. Check this out. It was from 1710 to 1860, it was over 200 uprisings happened. And out of all 200 uprisings, over 200 uprisings, all of those uprisings were thwarted because somebody sold them out for meritorious manumission. You understand? This is what our leaders do to us today. You understand? This is what our leaders do to us today. You got that scripture? Come on, let's read that. First Maccabees chapter 1.
First Maccabees 1 and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. That means that these were Israelites. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. That meant that there were wicked men in Israel. Just like we got wicked men in the Christian church today, just like we got wicked politicians, wicked black politicians that are Israelites. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Go ahead.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
It says, who persuaded many. And this is what our leaders do to us today. Go out and vote. You need to vote. The only way we're going to do it is if we get out and vote. They persuade many. You got to get out there and vote. If you don't vote, you can't speak. You understand what I'm saying? These are the tactics that they use, knowing that we're not going to get nothing from the jump. Out of all of the voting, brothers and sisters have been voting since what, 1955 or 1960? Brothers have been voting since 1960, and from 1960 to now, what have we received? Not a thing. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant. Listen, this is just what the Most High told us not to do. Do not make any covenants. Do not make marriages with them. When you make a covenant with a heathen nation or your oppressor, that is a covenant. You understand? We spoke about that in Psalms 55 and 21. Hey, listen, our oppressor broke all 177 peace treaties he made with the Native Indians. You understand? He broke all 107. This is just what they do. Eminent domain. This is what they do. They break peace. They break treaties. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead. That are round, excuse me, sir. That are round about us. You understand? We are surrounded by our enemies. You understand? And being surrounded by our enemies, they want to make covenants with our enemies and sell us into the hands of our enemies. Just like we was talking about earlier. This is the reason why the Koreans are in our neighborhoods and we're not in their neighborhoods. This is the reason why the Chinese are in our neighborhoods and we're not in their neighborhoods. Think about it, right? Where are the Chinese living? Where are the Koreans living? Where are the East Indians living? Where are the Arabs living? You understand what I'm saying? But they come into our community, they surround us and they suffocate us. When I say suffocate, they drain us of all of our goods, all of our money. They take all of our money out of our community and back to their community. You understand? Just like I told people last week, I said, there is no such thing as urban neighborhoods. An urban neighborhood cannot be your neighborhood if you don't own anything in your neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? You can't live in an urban neighborhood if you don't own anything in that neighborhood. You understand? But this is hard for our people to understand. We have to take our neighborhoods back. And there's only one way to do it. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? Do what the Most High told us to do. You understand? We need to be taking care of our people. You understand? We need to be taking care of our sick. We need to be taking care of our poor. You understand what I'm saying? We got $1.7 trillion worth of purchasing power. And we spend all of it in the other nations. 0.1% we spend with our own people. You understand what I'm saying? That's sad. Because the so-called Jew, his money stays in his, bounces around in his community 10 to 12 times. The so-called Chinese man, his money bounces around in his community 8 times. You understand? So-called East Indian, his bounces around 6 to 7 times. You understand? Because they know how to take care of their people. And this is the things that we have to learn how to do. The Most High gave us the blueprint. The book, it sits right in front of us. It's called the Bible. He made us a great people. He made us a special people and gave us the blueprint to being special. The blueprint to being powerful. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
And this is how our people think. Listen, if the oppressor was to leave us today or tomorrow, we'd be destroyed. You understand? And this is how our people think, which means what? We think we can't control and we can't police ourselves. Basically, that's what they're saying. You understand what I'm saying? But think about it, right? We police our own homes every day. Right? We police our own homes every day. You take care of your own home every day. You dictate what happens in your house every day. You set rules and laws and everything in your house every day. Why can't we do that in our neighborhood? Why can't we do that in our communities? You understand? Because we lack understanding. You understand? We lack knowledge. Knowledge is in the scriptures. We come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, and we be good. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, I just read the doctrine of exclusion, right? And think about this. It says, neither the existing black population, their descendants, nor any other blacks shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. Now check this out. The doctrine was written to ensure that blacks would remain, listen to this, a subordinate, non-competitive, non-compensated workforce. Listen, a subordinate. What does it mean to be subordinate? What does it mean to be subordinate? Remember, sub means below. It means to be subject to somebody else. It means to have someone else over top of you. It means to be the tail and someone else be the head. That's what it means to be subordinate. Listen, it says subordinate, non-competitive. What does it mean to be non-competitive? Non-competitive means that we're going to put them in a position where they can't compete to build themselves up. They had a 400-year head start. They bought up 99.9% of all the land in America and then said, now you can run and now you can compete. They freed us in 1865, or so-called freed us in 1865 and said, now come on and compete. Matter of fact, before you start running, let us write this 13th Amendment out. Now compete. They put us in a position to be non-competitive. You understand what I'm saying? And then it says a non-compensated workforce. What does it mean to be a non-compensated workforce? Free labor. Free labor. So now, moving forward, fast forward, how many of us out here have 2 jobs or 3 jobs? It's the same as being a non-compensated workforce, because you have to work so many jobs that you can't take care of your family properly. You can't look over your family properly. You can't protect your family properly. You understand? So they put us in a position to be subordinate, non-competitive, and a non-compensated workforce. You understand what I'm saying? They put us in a position to fail. You understand? They made all kinds of laws and slave codes so that we could fall into their traps and snares. You understand what I'm saying? This is the position that they put us in. You understand? And this is where we find ourselves at today. And then all of a sudden they give you a Juneteenth. And now we have just made it. Some people look like they just hit the lottery. You understand what I'm saying? You ever see on one of those commercials and you see an old woman and she looking, her hands shaking because she about to get a piece of bread? That's how our people look. They show the old people. I looked at a commercial a couple weeks ago. They showed the old people in Russia, old white lady, get ready to get a piece of bread. That's how our people look right there with Biden. Like they get ready to get a crumb. We getting crumbs. Oh, he get ready to eat a sandwich. Let's catch the crumbs. You understand what I'm saying? That Chinese man in New York said these people have no dignity, and every time our black leaders get up there and get on those TVs, that's what they make us look like we are people with no dignity. You feel me? We are destroyed. But we got to bring our people, as Isupk, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we got to bring our people back to this truth. We got to get our people to understand that this is the way back. This is the truth. This is the life. You understand? This is where we get back to who we are. You understand? We have to listen to our Father. And in listening to our Father, instead of us being the tail and them being the head, we'll be the head and they'll be the tail. You understand what I'm saying? That thing that happened on January the 6th, that was the beginning of their end. You understand? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? Their world is falling. So if their world is falling right now, what does that mean? That means our world is building. But the only way our world is going to build is if we bring our people back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we come back. You know? Give me, let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. Oh shit, let me back up. Okay. 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14.
Second Esdras, 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and him that dwell therein.
It says, woe to the world and them that dwell within. Listen, it says destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. Listen, in the Isupk, we don't dwell in this world. You understand what I'm saying? We know that destruction is coming to this world. We waiting for our world to come. But we have brothers and sisters that are in this world. And what we are sent to do is to get those brothers and sisters out of that world and bring them into our world. Get them to understand that that is not our world. That is not our rest. We hear that all the time. You understand? This world is not our rest. Don't rest on your laurels because you got a little good paying job. Don't rest on your laurels because your oppressive boss gave you another raise. You understand? He has to appease you. This is not our world. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Go ahead.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. That what we saw on January the 6th, their destruction is drawing nigh. Destruction is on the way to our oppressor. His world is falling apart. You understand what I'm saying? He only holding together with tape right now. You understand what I'm saying? He playing a good thing right now. Think about this, right? They giving away all these stimulus checks. Why they couldn't give them stimulus checks away last year when the brothers and sisters needed it? You understand what I'm saying? All of a sudden now they want to give away all this stimulus money. He trying to appease people. Listen, it says a gift. Listen, oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. When our oppressor is giving out all of this money and stuff, this is what's destroying our people. You understand? This is what's lulling our people back to sleep. Go ahead.
And one people shall stand up and fight against another.
Listen, we fight against ourselves all the time, but this is not talking about us. This is talking about our oppressor. Our oppressor is standing up, and now they fighting, whether it be on the Capitol front or whether it be in Congress or in the Senate. They got one people standing up and fighting against another. This kingdom is falling right now. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
With swords in their hands.
With swords in their hands, with their guns, with their rifles. You understand? With their flag poles, with their bear spray. You understand? Swords in their hands. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men.
It says, for there shall be sedition among men. What does the word sedition mean? What does the word sedition mean? Sedition is a word that sedition means to speak against your government in a way that causes people to want to overthrow your government. What Donald Trump did on January the 6th, that was sedition. You understand? What's that general name? Flynn? Was that Flynn? Who was saying that what happened in Myanmar should have happened here? That's sedition. When you speak against the government in a way to make people want to overthrow the government, that's sedition. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And swords in their hands. Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another.
And invading one another, just like they invaded that Capitol. You understand? They invaded that Capitol. That's sedition among men. Donald Trump, that was sedition in making those people invade the Capitol. That's their Capitol. That has nothing to do with us. We laid back and laughed at the whole thing. You understand? Because we are not in this world. We know this is not our rest. We know this has nothing to do with us. We know that our oppressor's kingdom is vastly falling. You understand? Go ahead.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Listen, they didn't care about the Senate. They didn't care about the House of Delegates. They didn't care about anybody in there. They did not regard their kings or their princes. Go ahead.
In the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You understand? They're going to destroy themselves. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to have to pay for their actions, and they're going to destroy themselves. And what we saw, like I said, what we saw on January the 6th, this is the beginning of their end. You understand what I'm saying? And with that, we are the Israelite School of universal practical knowledge. Yeah. Oh, I do. I got one more. Salakia, sir. My bad. I got one more. Right. Give me Isaiah. Excuse me. Ezekiel 13:4. You understand? Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 4. This right here, this describes our leadership. And this is the reason why the Most High sent the Isupk, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General Yohana. Because we have no leadership. You understand what I'm saying? So the Most High is building up men with honor and with zeal for their people. Because as we know, our leaders do not have zeal and love for their own people. They only have zeal and love for the oppressors' trinkets. You understand what I'm saying? And with that, we're going to read this scripture right here. Ezekiel, the 13th chapter, the 4th verse.
The book of Ezekiel 13:4. So Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert.
It says, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. Foxes in the desert are slick. They are sneaky. They are crafty. Think about it. When you're looking across the desert, it's not hard to see because the desert is, you got hills but basically it's one color. You can see anything coming. So a fox gotta be sneaky. A fox gotta be crafty. If they chasing anything or if they on anything, they gotta be sneaky and crafty. Well, this is like our leadership. They are like the foxes in the desert. You understand what I'm saying? They have to be sneaky. They have to be crafty. Go ahead.
Ye have not gone up into the gaps.
It says ye. Go ahead. Keep reading.
Neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the days of the Most High.
It says ye have not gone up into the gaps. When you in a battle, right? And your wall gets penetrated, you have to have men to go up into the gaps to fight and to build those walls back up or to keep the enemy from coming through those gaps. You understand? Our leadership does not do that. Our leaders today do not go up into the gaps. You understand? This is the reason why the Most High in 1969 brought the Isupk into existence. You understand? Because we did not have leaders to go up into the gaps until the Isupk. We are the ones that go up into the gaps and fill those holes and protect our nation. You understand what I'm saying? It says, ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge of the house of Israel to stand in the battle of the day of the Most High. Listen, we go up into those gaps and we build that hedge of protection up for our people. And we stand in the midst for our people in the day of the Lord. You understand? We battle for our people. We battle for the souls of our people. You understand what I'm saying? We do what we have to do because we have a love, not so much a hate for our oppressor, but we love our people more. You understand what I'm saying? We have a love for our people, and this is why we get out there on those Saturdays and we stand in the gaps. We fill those hedges. We build up those hedges of protection, you understand, around our people. We tell our people where we have to go and where we going to build ourselves back up. Go ahead.
Verse 6. They have seen vanity and lying divination.
They have seen vanity and lying divination. They have seen our leadership. You understand? They have seen the vanity and the divination. You understand? Go ahead.
saying, the Most High saith, and the Most High have not sent them.
They say that the Most High, God told me to tell you this, and God ain't told them a thing. The Most High ain't told them nothing. You understand what I'm saying? They say, just like Martin Luther King, I have a dream. And he ain't never had a dream. You understand what I'm saying? But our people get faded by that. You understand? Our people get lulled to sleep by that. People still praising that I have a dream speech to this day, knowing that it was bull. You understand? Not knowing that it was bull. Go ahead.
The Most High have not sent them, and they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word.
And they got other people hoping, confirm this. Oh, man, I hope this happened. I hope, tell me, let me hear it again. You understand? People want you to confirm that that's going to happen when it's not going to happen. You ever seen those faith healers in church? You understand? Well, you gonna walk one day, man. I hope you understand what I'm saying. You seen it. They selling that holy water. This water can heal you. All you got to do is drink this, and you gonna be walking in 2 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? Just send us $300, and we gonna teach. Think about this, right? I saw one preacher say, send us $50, and we gonna send you this vial of water with some instructions on how to use it. Yeah, you feel? We gonna send you instructions on how to use some water. You understand what I'm saying? Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And because we've been destroyed for so long, it's hard for us to come out of our oppressors' customs and culture. You understand what I'm saying? But the Lord brought the Isupk on the scene so that we could bring our people back. You understand? And in bringing our people back, we got to build our nation. You understand? And in building our nation, we got to take the oppressors' kingdom down. How do we take the oppressor's kingdom down? Come back into this truth. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that we are the descendants of the greatest people to walk the face of this earth. And the Bible tells us that those people are the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Jew, and that's who we are. And with that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Kawan Palak. Let me get my stuff out of the way.
Shalom, Bmore. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Security announcements. We are Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Pay your goddamn tithes, man. Come on. General Yohana is the only man that will take your hard-earned working tithes
and help other brothers and sisters. You must understand this, all right? Tithes, which is a commandment. It is a commandment. It is an Old Testament law. Your pastor tells you not to respect or follow the Old Testament laws, but he tells you to pay your tithes, which is an Old Testament law. The ISUPK tells you to follow every law of God, and that's what we do in the ISUPK. So it's best for you to give your funds to Commanding General Yohana because he'll do the right things with them. He could do whatever the hell he wants with them, but he chooses to help blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians with the everyday struggle of goddamn slavery, man. All right? Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8 and 10 means 10th in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced Ma'asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, which we just celebrated the Feast of New Fruits, and it was an actual delight to be with my people on a holy high day, which is sanctioned by the Lord, to be together in brotherhood and to dwell together in absolute bliss, man. And nobody else can understand that unless you in the ISUPK, man. The truth is the truth, brother. You cannot understand, you cannot maintain true brotherhood unless you're on the same page, unless you are yoked together. Remind Akeem and Akwafim to check social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher men of Israel, Imagim Shabbat, Imagim Brak, Yabashayam Shabbat, class dismissed.
Like a sideshow, eat an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues on this guitar smoke. Rebel with no gold shine.